mentioned something earlier about the poultry industry. We know Georgia is the #1 poultry producer, I believe, in the world. What specific steps are being taken to protect that industry? We heard some from the, I believe it was the CEO of Tyson Foods, who was really worried about a break in the supply chain because of outbreaks at some of his plants in other parts of the country. You said the General King was going there. Have there been any issues in any of these plants, and what specific steps are the state taking to try and stop them?
Yeah, I may let General Carden, let me just kind of answer you first there, Richard, but I mean, look, it is concerning. I've followed the stories across, other meat packing plants and other businesses across the state. We obviously, being the #1 poultry producer in the world, have many of those businesses in Georgia. We've been working with the association. Dr. Toomey may want to speak about this as well, to help them with best practices, following the guidelines. I think they've done a lot of things in their plant. I think what we're seeing in Gainesville, and the reason we sent General King up there today, is we got to get the community to buy into this. You know, that community, they're very hardworking. They, and I've worked with them for almost 40 years. They are going to go to work unless they just absolutely can't. And that is their culture of being very hardworking people. And this is a time where if they feel like they have a little bit of a cold or one of these 7 or 8 symptoms that I read out earlier, they probably could get through the day, but it is not smart for them to do that. We've got to, I think, educate them. I don't know that the issue is at the plant as much as it is just in the community. When you have somebody that's in the community that gets infected, or if somebody in the plant's infected and they take it back to the community. So that's what we're trying to educate and stop. But I think General Carden may have something on the plant. All right.
You know, I visited one of our specimen points of collection earlier today and had a brief conversation with General Toomey, and we talked to one of the public health directors in Dawson County specifically. They have the poultry industry obviously is big in that part of the state, and we have mobile testing capability that Dr. Toomey asked us to generate to support the Department of Public Health, and obviously at her behest we can move that capability whether it's critical infrastructure workers or whether it's the meat packing industry, wherever the public health leadership tells us to direct that capability, then we're obviously prepared to do so.
Great, thank you. Now, I have to point out that 2 of my colleagues got a haircut, and I obviously didn't. So that just reinforces what the governor said, that just because things are open doesn't mean you need to go out. I'm still heeding warnings, but I'm very proud of the work that we have done in public health, both with the poultry industry as well as blueberry farmers and others in the agricultural industry. Our health directors have reached out proactively to work with in these factories and to educate about the use of masks, or educate about social distancing in areas where the workers may take breaks. And almost uniformly, they have reported back to me that they are so impressed with how well these guidelines are being followed. When they do have a positive case, the cases are quickly identified, often tested either by public health or, as General Carden said, by one of his mobile teams. We help identify sites for isolation and potential quarantine for others. But the fact that they were very open to following guidelines and very open to this education in a proactive way, I think speaks volumes about how well we have been proactively reaching out to ensure the safety of the workers, but also for the state as a whole.